So probably the most requested videos on this channel are all centered around food, with people wanting to know a little bit more about the diet that helped me build strength and muscle in the gym, all whilst running 30+ miles each week and staying relatively lean in the process. And compared with when I started training many years ago, I've gone full circle when it comes to my take on nutrition, initially thinking that I had to eat specific fitness foods in order to be fit, to now realising it's a whole lot simpler than that. But I've already spoken loads about my whole philosophy on diet, if you can call it that. So in this video, I'm just going to show you a full week of the meals that I actually eat to fuel my running and lifting. I have left out what I eat for breakfast because showing you the same bowl of yogurt and granola 7 days in a row seems a little bit cheeky, even for this channel, which is repetitive at the best of times. But otherwise, here it comes. Let's get into it. So it's Monday evening, and on the plan today, it was a gym session, so I've just finished up in the home gym doing some squats and some bench press, and it's time to make my first evening meal of the week. I have actually just had a big snack after the gym, as well as a protein shake, but I'm working tonight, so I'm gonna make my dinner before setting off at about 7:10, and I'll eat it later at work. Tonight it's gonna be salmon on the menu. That's already cooking in the oven, so I just need to prepare the rest of it. Hello, so I've made it to work and I'm just actually having a bite to eat. I've only been here under an hour, it's not even 9 o'clock yet, but there's not a whole lot to do. So I'm taking advantage of that and having my dinner. But as I alluded to earlier, for dinner is some baked salmon with a quinoa salad and some kale. There's not a whole lot of recipe to this other than the ingredients. As you saw, they really just come together very simply. And as this video progresses, you'll probably realise that that's a bit of a theme with all the meals that I tend to eat. So all done with dinner, and that was a pretty simple but a very tasty meal. For all of these meals that I'm eating this week, I will put the recipes and the ingredients down below in the description. And although I don't weigh my food or count my macros typically, I'll probably plug each of these meals into ChatGPT to give a guesstimation of the protein, fat and the carb content. But otherwise, it's still eerily quiet at the moment. I haven't heard anything yet through either of these two devices. So I think I'll probably do a quick lap of the hospital, check that I'm not missing out on anything, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So last night was a bit of a weird shift in the end. Because of a quirk of my rota, I only did the one night, which is not really long enough to feel like an achievement when you get to the end of it, but just long enough to muck up your sleep pattern and leave you feeling a bit crap the next day. So here's me waking up from my nap on Tuesday, smashing a coffee first thing, and then having leftover salmon for lunch. I wasn't really going to show many of my lunches in this video, mainly because they're simply the leftovers from the night before. If I do end up working out on these days when I'm post nights, it's usually something like an easy run. So I managed to pull myself away from the sofa in the afternoon and trudge out a gentle 10 kilometres in the drizzly British weather. So I'm obviously not a vegetarian, but Lil on the other hand used to be a vegetarian. So because of her, I sort of also got into the habit of eating lots of plant-based meals, especially on the weekdays. So in that spirit, here we've got a lentil and chickpea curry with cauliflower. And I often get lots of questions saying, what about your protein intake? I mean, this meal Obviously doesn't have the same protein density as a steak or a chicken breast might do, but there's lots of good sources of plant-based protein, and when you put that into the context of what else I'm eating throughout the day, so I had leftovers from last night for lunch, I've had a whey protein shake and a snack only a few hours ago, and then breakfast as well. I'm getting lots of protein throughout the day. My portion sizes, something that you need to think about, are pretty huge. I'm probably eating around 3,500 calories, if I had to guess, each day. So although the density of the protein that I'm eating, or the density of the protein in the meals that I'm eating isn't huge, just by the sheer volume of food that I'm eating, I'm hitting my my protein count, which is a relatively modest 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. So I'll see you tomorrow. But first, I have some really exciting news to share with you guys. So far on this channel, I've been pretty reluctant to accept any form of sponsorship for any goods or services that I wouldn't naturally already be interested in, because what do I have in this world if not my own integrity? But when last month the sponsor of this video reached out to me, I bit their hands off, because that brand was Gymshark. As I'm sure you guys already know, Gymshark is like the gold standard when it comes to workout clothing, which made this one of the easiest decisions I've had to make so far in my time on YouTube. I was thinking, and it's probably been over 10 years since I first bought an item of clothing from Gymshark, and back then they were very much just a gym bodybuilding sort of brand, but having had a proper chance to re-familiarise myself with the entirety of their collection, my god, they've upped their game. Because for someone now who still, yeah, lifts weights in the gym, but also does general gym conditioning work, runs a fair amount, and also pretty much lives exclusively in athletic apparel, they've got all bases covered. Particularly enjoying these oversized t-shirts, and have been wearing them absolutely non-stop around the house. And this is probably the best time of year to be working with Gymshark, because they famously go really big on all the sales, and their Black Friday sale has literally just gone live. So there's up to 50% off across the entire website, and an extra 10% off when you use my unique code Andrew10 and follow the link down below in the description. So a big thanks to Gymshark for helping support this channel, and a huge thanks to you guys for helping me grow to a point where brands that I really rate actually feel like it's worth their time to reach out to me for a partnership, and not just endless resellers from Alibaba.com. It's probably perfect time to get back to the video.
Hello, it's Wednesday. I'm still off work, recovering from my singular, not particularly busy night shift. So I'm taking this opportunity to do a little bit of daylight running, which is a bit of a luxury on a weekday at this time of the year. But today I've got a fun little workout. It's some pyramids. There's about 7k of work I think in total, maybe 6k, starting off at 200 meter intervals and then working up to a maximum interval of about a mile I think, and then all the way back down. So I'm just doing a little bit of a warm-up jog. I'll do some stretches and then we'll get started. Just past halfway, did that 1 mile rep, pretty tough. See if I've got anything left in the tank for the return leg. That's it, 200 meters, 3:15 per kilometer pace. Feel a bit sick. Let's go. I think it's probably time to go home. Get back to my baseline and have some lunch. And maybe throw up as well.
So me and Lil are actually out tonight, it's bonfire night, so we're going to my brother-in-law's for dinner and some fireworks. So I'm going to have what I would have had for dinner tonight, right now for lunch. I put some potatoes in before I went out for my run. They're almost done, so I'm going to have that with like a tuna crunch salad. lunch is all ready. I've got myself 1.5 baked potatoes with some butter, some tuna, some chopped peppers, some sweet corn, and then a dressing of light mayonnaise, a bit of olive oil, some yogurt, and then some seasoning. But a really, really tasty meal and a favourite that I go to all the time. It's about 40 minutes since I finished my run. This is typically the sort of window that I try and eat in. I'm not super precious after my gym workouts, but especially after a run, anything longer than 10 kilometers, I'm aware that I've drained my glycogen stores in my body, and the longer that I leave it before refueling, my body's going to be looking for other sources of fuel, and we don't really want to get catabolic. So Thursday evening, and I've just banked another session, this time a pull day in the gym, and my first time doing conventional deadlifts in quite a few months. So nice to be back at it. And usually it's this time of the week where I'm starting to feel pretty banged up as I stack hard session after hard session. But right now I'm actually not feeling too bad, considering yesterday's run workout almost killed me on the day. But I think that's because I've been hitting my nutrition, eating all my 4 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, my afternoon snack, and a good solid dinner on top of that. I don't think I've actually filmed any of those afternoon snacks so far in this video. It's usually something like a protein shake, an item of fruit, and then something a little bit more substantial. That's normally rice cakes with peanut butter, chia seed pudding with peanut butter, energy balls with peanut butter. They're all a bit samey, you're kind of getting the picture, aren't you? But I'll make sure to put them all down in the description along with my dinners, so you're not missing out. But again, they're not too sophisticated. So anyway, back home for a bite to eat. So I'm back from the gym, and here's Lil. She's been slaving away, cooking a nice hot meal. What have you been cooking?
I've been cooking some roast veg, some fingers crossed crunchy chickpeas.
Nice. And we bought some chicken at the weekend. We did our big weekly shop, and we only found out today that the chicken expired yesterday, even though, when did you buy it? Like Sunday? Yeah, so anyway, I'll stop back on the shops on the way back from the gym. Got some more chicken, so I'll cook this up. Tear it apart. I think we do have more than just those chickpeas. And we'll put it together and I'll show you what it looks like. I don't know if it's just because I'm a doctor or if I was like this beforehand, but I'm basically a massive clean freak, especially with washing my hands, and I absolutely hate touching raw chicken. We would probably eat a lot more chicken and just a lot less veggie meals in general if I wasn't like this. So dinner all done. This is a real favourite of ours. We've got some roast veg. So in this there's aubergine, courgette, onion, peppers and garlic. And then with that we've got some roast chickpeas, some chicken, and then the carb is couscous, and we've dressed that with some tzatziki and some hummus on the side. So we often do this without chicken if we're both feeling a little bit icked out by it. We'll just do more chickpeas and then some seeds or something on top. But especially having been to the gym today, busy week of training, get that extra protein in, can't hurt. And we're also sitting in front of the TV because it's the Celebrity Traitors final for anyone that's been watching it. So we're going to enjoy our food, watch a bit of TV, and I'll catch up with you soon.
I'm pretty sure the cat is a traitor. I'm a favourite. Groups within the country are also divided.
So Friday was a busy one. I didn't get to doing a whole lot of filming. I was on call at work, so a 12.5-hour day with almost an hour's commute on each side. Again, just a one-off in the week, so really not too bad, but these can be pretty disruptive to my training and life in general really when you do a run of 3 or 4 in a row. But as is tradition in the Russell household on a Friday, the day ended pretty strongly with a pizza. So it's Saturday evening and I'm in my home gym. I've chosen my angles here very carefully so you can't really see what is going on in the rest of the gym. That's because I'm trying to keep it a little bit of a secret just in preparation for my final home gym transformation video, which should be due out before the end of the year. I'm hoping next month, but we're making real progress, and in this last fortnight alone I've got a lot of new equipment and flooring, so
I'll have to wait until next time. But after a late finish yesterday at work, I ended up skipping the run that I had planned because I got home at 9 and Lil said, should we just put the pizzas in? And I said, absolutely. So today has been an inadvertent double training day. This morning we did park run together. I was meant to be doing a progression run on my training plan, so instead I switched that to running a park run where I started off slow and finished off a bit faster with a warm up and a cool down around that. Then this evening in the gym, it's been a bit of a upper body medley, to be honest, doing a variety of different exercises that I don't normally do. Things like tempo speed bench, some incline dumbbells. I've been doing some lateral raises with the new cable machine that I have, and also doing some dumbbell rows, which I haven't done in absolutely ages. And these inadvertent double training days happen quite frequently for me, and it's really important. The one thing that I want to get across to you guys is just making sure that you fuel properly for these days. So I've been stacking on lots of calories throughout the day, had a big breakfast, a really big lunch, an amazing chicken baguette, a big snack only about an hour and a half ago, and Lil is currently cooking away a storm in the kitchen. We're having chili bowls tonight, so I'm gonna finish up in here, do my last couple of exercises, and I'll see you for dinner. So Saturday night, and look what Lil has made for us. Go on, Lil, talk us through it.
We do this quite often in the week, but we have added halloumi because it's the weekend. We're really treating ourselves over. So it's just a rice bowl. Well, we call it a rice bowl. Nothing exciting really, just rice, kind of fajita mixed peppers and onions, with some black beans for extra protein, some halloumi, some avocado, some coriander, controversial. We are lovers of coriander in this house.
Yeah, big lovers.
And then a little bit of sriracha on top.
And as I've said before, there's not any meat in this meal, so the density of the protein per like mouthful is obviously much less than you would get if we had chicken, but just the volume of food that I tend to eat, like how full Lil knows how to fill these bowls. I'm definitely getting enough protein with meal sizes this big. It is the final day of the week, depending on when you start your week, of course, but it's Sunday, and for me, that is my long run day. So today I'm gonna try and hit a 10-mile run, which is 16 kilometers, which will take me up to just over 50 kilometers for the week, which is about where I've been at for most of the last few months, at least my average mileage, that is. So it's gonna be a nice, easy pace. I've already got my 2 running sessions in this week. So we're gonna take it nice and easy, that conversational pace running, which for me, usually anywhere between 5 minutes and 5 minutes 30 per kilometer, obviously depending on elevation, how I'm feeling, training fatigue, all that sort of stuff. I've just had a bag of Haribo left over from Halloween. We didn't get any trick-or-treaters because we forgot to put a pumpkin out. So that's fueled me up, ready for this run. I've obviously had my breakfast. It's about midday. I've spent the morning revising, so gonna get back at around 1:30, 2 o'clock, just in time for lunch. I've been absolutely desperate to wear this long sleeve fitted compression top from Gymshark all week, and despite it being the middle of November, it's about 11, 12 degrees outside, so I might come to regret it. I might be too hot, but you know, this time of year, I feel like I need to be getting my winter running gear on. So if I can't wear it now, when can I wear it? End of the week, last workout, all done, a 16 kilometer long run, and I didn't actually take any fueling out with me on the run, which is a little bit unusual. I often will take some fluids or electrolytes and a gel or two, but really I couldn't be bothered, and at this time of the year, taking fluids out isn't essential if you're only going 10 miles. But anyway, I made sure that I refueled after that run, and tonight got a really exciting meal to end the week on. Bit of a treat really. It's a Nando's Fakeaway, something that we do pretty frequently here in the Russell household. So basically gonna be some chicken thigh burgers with a homemade coleslaw, some potato wedges, and then like a corn on the cob with lots of extra butter. I found myself responsible for marinating the chicken. Lil calls it a blue job, whatever that means.
So we're gonna do that, get my hands dirty, and then put some potato wedges in the oven, and we'll crack on. So we've got a proper Sunday night treat here. So we've got a chicken thigh burger with chili jam, mayo, lettuce. We've got a homemade slaw, we've got a green salad, got some potato wedges, and of course we've got a corn on the cob. So probably my favourite little bits from a Nando's. We don't really have the peri peri salt or the Nando's dipping sauce, but apart from that, I'm pretty happy. Time to get this down me. What did I say? That's a bit weird, isn't it?